from today's first reading. It is better for you to lose one of your members than to have your whole body go into Gehenna. The words of Jesus in today's gospel. I don't want to say much now. I just want to suggest that we spend a little bit of time now, I'll give a few moments, and later on, asking God for two things. One, that we might hear his voice. That we might hear his voice in many things, but including in stillness and quietness. Because as we heard from today's gospel, God very often speaks in stillness and quietness. And we need to be willing in our lives to put ourselves in stillness and quietness that we might hear the Lord. Let's ask the Lord that, and let's ask that once we hear him, we obey him, we follow his word. Second thing, let's ask the Lord for the grace not to sin. Not to sin through our actions, but also not to sin through our thoughts. Because we see in today's gospel that we can sin in our thoughts as well as in our actions. And sin is serious. Let's just spend some time asking the Lord now for the grace for these two things. One, to hear God's voice and to spend time in stillness and quietness to help us hearing God's voice, and the grace to respond to his voice with obedience, following what God says to us. And secondly, let's ask God for the grace not to sin. Not to sin in what we do, but also not to sin in our thoughts. All of this is impossible in our own strength. But with God's grace, it's possible. Let's ask for God's grace. Let's ask for the touch of the Holy Spirit in our lives for these two things. Let's just take a few moments for that.